So when you look at Sudupu and the land of the foreign lands, understand the Western Hemisphere and the New World. These are these regions here of the Americas, the Amoracas. So when you look at Orion's belt in the pyramid text and the land of the dead, this is the west side. When we look at the Shin, the sharp ones, and you look at Shama, the heavens, right here, Shin, the Netta. So that measure of darkness, 144 degrees for the hemisphere, 72 degrees for... When you look at Ghana, understand this region of 0 degrees where the prime meridian is, and being at 0 degrees in the door to the Western Hemisphere. So it was this time as the time of Gemini and Cancer were ending, that the sun was... time chronology was moving. You have Cancer, the King's Court. So this is why we have the Congo right here in this region of Ghana. We understand the Gain and the twist and the... So as we see here in the Kim Sudupu, as I showed y'all, this is the Lord of the Foreign Lands. So you see here them coming into this land. This is why after the dynasty periods, you see that Sudupu, right, becomes, right, changed, right, demoted, right. So we understand that this dynasty, this world dynasty, eventually was minimized, right, under the destruction of black civilization. So we see here is a worldwide, right, unity of blackness ruling the world, right. But this is looked at in the Bible and many other texts, right, as a negative thing, right. Even in the scriptures in Genesis 11 chapter, this was a negative thing, that these Negroes had established universal dominion in the world under, right, the Falcon, under the divine order. So when you look at here, the standard, you see the goddess Hathor, the goddess Bat for the ships, the boats, right? So we understand the west, the coast, the barbarian coast. So understand that we saw these Asiatic foreigners, right? Asiatic foreigners that came across the seas with the sun, following the procession of the sun, right? So if you do your history on Osiris in the land of the dead, right, you'll notice here that you'll find Osiris usually wearing white in this region of the land of the dead. This is the Americas, the Grand Canyon going forward, and the Shushun, Death Valley, the Meshi, the white. This is considered the land of the dead. So when you look at the Falcon tribe in this first dynasty, understand, like I was telling you earlier, that Kush was extended into Indus Valley. You see here on Norman's palette, you have the 4 directions, right, covered, the kings, the 4 kings in agreement, right, to be in unison with this unification of the 2 lands. This is what you're seeing here, the kings of Amuru and the great sea lords. So understand Paharu, right, and the 4 standards, right, and the sea lord, the great fish, the sea serpent, right, of the 2 lands and the 7 seas. Understand Amoraka, Amuru, the lands of the west and the north. When we look at Par-Heru, the house of Heru, we understand the hawk, right, and the standard that was used for the west and the hawk, and Amuru, the naga, right, the serpents. And you see here, it clearly identified. You understand that Cain was the first one to come into the Americas and build a city with his son, Enoch. So this is why Canaanites and people named themselves after the land Canaan, Cain. What I'm saying is, when you look at Nimrod and you look at Genesis 10 chapter, you'll see the regions that he ruled in. And when you understand that Kemet, right, was in Sumeria as well as Mesopotamia, it'll make sense, right? So understand Nimrod, Kemet, Indus Valley Kush, where the Aryan Empire invaded and changes the meaning of a lot of this document. That's why he's referred to as an Asiatic influence, right? And pre-dynastic. So understand the land and naval battle of the first dynasty. Right? We're talking about the destruction and the conquering, the first conquerors. These Asiatics came from the west, into this region. As you see here, the flag standard showing, the 4 standard showing, the leopard skin, the panther skin, the pantheria skin. So understand the Maya, right? And the Alpha Zulu, the Zulu that march, that's going marching.
Well, phonetically, this one glyph is a bilateral. It has the sound of HQ or heck. This hill gives you the sign for Q, and it's called a phonetic complement because this already has a Q. So this is heck. This right here is a mountain range, and it's a determinative for foreign people who live on the other side of the mountain. So we're looking at heck kasut, or the Hyksos. And this right here is NNF. The water symbol gives you the N sound, the viper gives you the F. So we have 2 N's and an F. This is N and F, and it means he brought. This is A and A, which gives you A. The owl gives you an M. This gives you O. This is Amu. This is how the Egyptians said Asiatics in their language.
Many people, when talking about the term more, use the European understanding of how the Greeks phonetically came to understand more as being darkness, but you understand it's light, luminous light. But when we look at these 2 great lights, you have to understand the poles and how the ancients used the tree and the twins to symbolize these things. So we look at the ancient Moors in this term. So you look at Genesis and darkness and the forming of the path of the sun, the plower. So when we look at the Maors in this term more and being the light, being the head. Right? So look at the 2 great lights and the poles and the understanding of the Maor. So look at the 2 great lights and the poles and the understanding of the Maor. So you look at Genesis and darkness and the forming of the path of the sun, the plower. So when we look at the Maors in this term more and being the light, being the head. When we look at these 2 great lights, you have to understand the poles and how the ancients used the tree and the twins to symbolize these things. So we look at the ancient Moors in this term. Many people, when talking about the term Moor, use the European understanding of how the Greeks phonetically came to understand more as being darkness, but you understand it's light, luminous light. Kim Sudoku, as I showed y'all, this is the Lord of the Foreign Lands. So you see here them coming into this land. This is
Kasut, or the Hyksos. And this right here is NNF. The water symbol gives you the N sound. The viper gives you the F. So we have two N's and an F. This is N and F, and it means
Rakas. So you look at Orion's belt in the pyramid text and the land of the dead. This is the west side. When we look at the Shin. So when you look at Sudoku and the land of the foreign lands, understand the Western Hemisphere and the New World. These are these regions here of the Americas. So the Lord of the foreign lands, the foreign countries. So we understand that when you look at the different stellas, the male pronounced stella. Many people, when talking about the term more, use the European understanding of how the Greeks phonetically.
Kasut, or the Hyksos. And this right here is NNF. The water symbol gives you the N sound. The viper gives you the F. So we have two N's and an F. This is N and F, and it means
Rakas. So you look at Orion's belt in the pyramid text and the land of the dead. This is the west side. When we look at the Shin, the sharp ones, and you look at Shama, the heavens, right here, Shin, the Netta. So the measure as a negative thing, all right? Even in the scriptures, in Genesis 11 chapter, this was a negative thing that these Negroes had established universal dominion in the world under, right, the falcon, under the divine order. You see here on Narmer's palette where it says the western sunset land of Amuru, the great sea lord of the two seas. Understand, when you look at Amaraka, the two seas, right? You got the Atlantic Ocean in the west. This is the Nagas, the serpents, Hey Haru, Haru Salam.